Hey, how's it going everybody? Everyday Zach here, and today I'm bringing back a video that I did quite a few months ago. I actually don't remember when I did it. It was a few months ago about the Orpaz T40 holster, and I just wanted to bring a little bit more to light because I saw a lot of criticisms on there. So I decided to give the holster another shot. And what I mean by that is when I saw that 2 out of the 3 holes were actually not even threaded, I decided I'm not even going to wear it. It's a liability at that point. But I saw a lot of people saying, oh, it's the best holster. I love it. I don't know what your problem is with it. And I saw a lot of people saying that I was actually sponsored by T-Rex Arms. And I'm going to put a disclaimer out there right now. I'm not sponsored by anybody. These reviews are my own. I bought the items myself. Nobody has given me money to say good things about their holsters or accessories. These are all my opinions. I don't base my opinions off of what other people say. I look at the holster for what it is, the reliability and the safetiness of the holster. The thing we have to remember is these holsters are carrying something and securing something that can end somebody's life. I take that very serious. A gun, a firearm, it's a tool, but it's not a toy. For me, if my holster doesn't feel secure and I don't feel like that's going to benefit me and myself and the people around me in a gunfight, if unfortunately that may happen, I won't use it and I won't give it a good rating because, again, you could kill somebody, honestly. If somebody's shooting and you're trying to get your firearm out and something happens, it malfunctions, and that person decides he sees you and he shoots you and kills you, then what? Over something that other people may find to be something small and inconsiderate, or the hell's that word? Not inconsiderate. Insignificant. It could be something as life and death. So that being said, I want to show you a couple different things that I've figured out. I decided to wear for a week around my house. And again, I won't take this firearm into public and with this holster. I don't trust the holster at all, and for good reason. So a lot of people, like I said, were criticizing, so I decided to give it a chance. I said, all right, I'm gonna wear it, and I'm gonna figure out, did I just judge it too hard at the beginning? And I'm gonna tell you, no, I didn't judge it hard enough. I'm sorry, this holster is garbage. It is hot garbage. If something is so bad that 80% of it is bad, 20% isn't gonna change my mind to say, oh yeah, this is a holster that I'm gonna carry. So let's get into it. So don't mind the remote, this is so I can zoom into it. The things that I want to point out here, let me start with the good that I do like about this holster. The slim design of this holster and how slim it is to the body makes it really nice to be able to fit into vehicles and to put your seatbelts on and stuff like that. I have a lot of holsters that are real thick and they really don't do very good in vehicles or even under shirts and sweaters and stuff like that. It looks a little weird with how my sweater's hanging out, but don't worry about that. We can pull it up if we need to. But I just want to show one thing here is this holster sits, and maybe I'm just used to, I'm not going to criticize it for this, but I will say it's very awkward how high the holster sits on my waistline. Most of my holsters are down just a little bit more. This thing is, I have to have my arm up so high to get this thing out, and then even when I'm pulling and drawing, I have to draw this thing so far up. I'm not a big fan of that. It feels real detective-ish, like, hey, I'm a detective, here we go. I don't have my belt loops on, so it's going to move around just a little bit more, but I do have a video that maybe I'll show you with my belt loops on. I will say that the modular design of being able to fit almost any firearm you really want in here, and I haven't tried a lot of firearms. I have tried my Canik TP9 SFX and my Glock 19, this one here. Hey everybody, I just want to stop the video here for a second. I did want to explain that I did not explain very well in the video that this holster is for my Glock 19 5th gen. It's not for every firearm out there. It's not a modular design like the Orpaz or the Omnivore holster is. it's specifically for my firearm, and I meant to explain it a little bit better, but I didn't. So something like the Canik TP9 SFX is not going to work because it's such a longer firearm than the Glock that there's no way to get the backstrap to actually work. So I just wanted to put that out there and say this is not meant for every single firearm. But other than that, I haven't really tried any other firearm because I don't have any. So, but for what it is, it works really well for my Glock. It does sit very high, which I'm not a big fan of, but again, I haven't tried. Most of my holsters sit a lot farther down. And you can see here, you know, my hips are down here. It's coming up to almost, you know, right above my hips. And it just seems like a really, really high firearm, or a holster. So you can see when I do conceal, you know, it still projects that there is something underneath my belt. So it's not really high enough, you know, I move my arms at all and you're gonna be able to see the tip of the holster here. And you can see the back of where the firearm is and the magazine. And it's still pretty obvious that I'm carrying something, right? You might not know what it is. I have my extra magazine on this side, so it's a little bit smaller in size, but still, it still projects. And I'm not saying that there's a holster out there that's not going to project, so I'm not really dogging it on that either for the height. Maybe if I pulled it in the front or put it in the back a little bit more, but you know, again, I'm not going to really criticize it on that. But I will criticize on a couple different things here. And one of those is the fact that if you look, and I want to show you this here, after 2 days of using it and testing it out with dry firing, the little tab here that's supposed to secure the back of the firearm broke off. I was doing dry firing drills where I would sit and then pull and bring out, and when I pulled, it just caught and broke that little back strap, which I thought was like, wow. And what's on there is barely, let me see if I could bring this down, was barely anything to hold it. And you can see there, it's not really that secure with that. I'm trying to do this upside down. Yeah, it's not very secure. I'm quite upset that broke off. So with that, the holes, it just seems like a lot of design flaws, or maybe just not very good materials. Not 100% sure. So my other big issue here is if I go to pull my firearm, right? And I have a good grip, like you always do. I want you to just watch my middle finger. I got a good grip on my firearm. I go to push it down and bam. It's not fully in and I can't push it down any farther because it's hitting my finger. I have to move my hand and push it in. Now it seems like, okay, well, why don't you just move your hand anyways? But when you're in that situation of where you're drawing your firearm a lot and you put it away, that's going to get really annoying because as you can already see, you're going to pinch the hell out of yourself. And a lot of people find that nitpicky, like I'm nitpicking. But when I can't actually get a good grip on my firearm because of the lip here, and I pull my firearm out, I now no longer have that grip underneath my finger. I have to rotate and bring my hand back up to have a good grip on the firearm. Now a lot of people are like, oh, that's nitpicky, but we have to remember a good and bad grip is gonna mean life or death. If you go out to the range at all and you shoot, you know having a bad grip on your firearm is going to produce malfunctions and it's going to produce inaccuracy. You can't fire having a bad grip. That's why people always say, trainers always say, buck up on that firearm, maybe not in those words, but get a good grip on your firearm. That way you could have rounds on target accurately quick. So something as little as not being able to get a good grip on the firearm when you pull is going to cause a lot of issues where you have to readjust. And I'm sorry, when you're in a firefight, your brain isn't thinking about readjusting. Your brain is thinking about trying to get rounds on target. And if you don't have a good grip, how can you get rounds on target? Now, other people may say, well, that's where you train and, you know, freeze your hands and train. I think that's going a little bit extreme. I think until we are in a firefight, we really don't understand how our bodies are going to react to having that firearm and shooting that firearm at someone. I mean, your adrenaline is so high, you want everything to go right. You don't want to have to guess on what's going to go wrong. That's why we have the tools to be able to do everything we can to make ourselves comfortable in that situation, right? Muscle memory. And I don't want my muscle memory to be, oh, when I pull, I have to readjust and get rounds on target. So the other thing that I think one of the last things that I feel is wrong with this holster is the magnet in the front. I do like the magnet just because it's a very, very strong magnet. It does quite well. Even not having the back strap here, this firearm is not going to come out easily. But that's also the problem. When you're trying to pull the firearm out and you have to pull so damn hard, I can hold my belt with, and you can see how much it twists. I'm pulling straight up. It's quite a heavy draw to pull that firearm out. It's not the ideal thing. I'm sorry, I want my firearm to be able to come out relatively smooth without having to worry about trying to get my firearm out because the magnet's so damn strong. Also, when we're pulling that hard in a firefight, we're pulling everything. We're pulling our trigger finger, we're pulling everything. So if we come out and we accidentally pull the trigger here because we're pulling so hard, it could be a malfunction. It could be a discharge that we don't want right into the side of our leg. So I think the magnets, I like the idea. I don't like the strength of it. I do like the fact that it does block the barrel from getting debris in it, which is, you know, something I always have to clean my firearms at least once a week when I'm out and about, because the dust and everything ends up actually causing, you know, blockage. Not a lot of blockage, but I want it to be as clean as possible. I like my firearms clean. So that's, to me, that is a little bit on the pet peeve side. We're really probably not going to cause any problems having a little bit of dust and dirt inside the barrel. But I mean, I'd rather be safe than sorry. Other than that, like I said, the good points here I want to leave you is I would like to see some different changes on this. And I really did try to give this firearm holster a second chance. I really did. Being the back strap broke almost immediately, I can't give this thing a good rating at all. You know, I could deal with the fact that it sits higher up. I could train with a firearm holster that sits higher up. That's not an issue. I can retrain myself. But having the back strap that's broken, the two mounting bracket holes that aren't threaded, the magnet that's incredibly way too strong, I believe, it's just not, and the middle finger, the trigger guard being a little bit too big, I just don't think it's going to be a good holster to wear. Your holster may be good for you and your firearm. I've seen a lot of people say, oh, I use my T40 holster for my Smith & Wesson and it works perfectly. Good. I'm not talking about any other firearm except for the Glock 19 5th Gen. If it works for your Colt 1911 or your fucking Sig Sauer, fine, awesome, it works for it. But I'm talking about for the Glock platform. This is for the people that are looking to buy this holster for the Glock. Will this work better with an older Glock? 4th gen, 3rd gen, Glock 22? I don't know. I don't have one. Subscribe to my channel so I can get more people out there, so maybe I could buy these guns and test these holsters and equipment and accessories to show you guys my option of them. I'm being completely honest here. I would absolutely love for this to work. It's a slim design. I love the modularity of it, being able to fit different firearms and being able to actually retention them, the retention system. I do. I really like it. I like the slim design of it. But I'm sorry, there's a few fatal flaws that I just can't live with. Now, I will be looking into more of Orpaz's holsters and finding out if they have had any other updates to the T40. Maybe they have an updated model, and I would really like to buy it and do a review of it. I want to give them a chance. I like the idea that they're going with, but it's one of those things I can't trust my life with the flaws that it has. It is absolutely just hammering down out here. Beautiful. So again, I'm going to put up a few photos, I think, is going to be a better option to show you guys the issues with the mounting brackets. The belt loop that I'm using is the one that is just the regular belt loop. For the 1911, or not 1911, but the, so for the 511 tactical belt that, or the duty belt I should say, not really a tactical belt, but the duty belt that I'm wearing, it's the one that most police departments use, and you can find it anything like probably Cabela's or some Sportsman's Place in the firearm section. It fits really well. The belt loop that I'm using fits really well on for that design, that belt. It's very tight. Any smaller belt that isn't a tactical belt or some sort of duty belt, it's going to be way too loose. So even pulling that firearm, if you just have a regular Carhartt belt or something like that, having that extra space in between, and I'll show you what I mean by that with these photos, and you'll see here, if you have that extra play, it doesn't matter. That extra play is actually going to go against you, because you're going to pull the firearm out. It's going to move a lot more. It's just, I don't mean to shit on this holster, you guys. I have quite a few different holsters that I have had issues with, and I've had to modify a little bit and make a little different. I was actually planning on threading this holster, putting new threads, yeah, I guess they would be new threads where the threads should be, and just cutting the trigger guard just a little bit to get my finger in there a little bit better, and then use it as kind of a daily holster. But since that back strap broke, I won't do it, because that means it's not secure. There's no other retention in there besides the magnet. Somebody can come up and pull my firearm out if I get into a fist fight with somebody, and they're able to pull my firearm out. There's no back strap on there anymore. There's no safety. That's a big no-no. And with how easy it broke, just drawing the firearm, doing drills, I barely even pulled that thing. It wasn't like I ripped on it. I clicked the button, pulled, and heard something drop, and I looked down, and there's a back strap. I'm not sure if it's called a back strap, but that's what I'm calling it. And I'm glad those who have the holster, they are working fine. This could be just as simple as a quality control issue. Maybe I just got a defective one. I mean, obviously I got a defective one. 2 of the 4 holes didn't even come pre-threaded. So obviously, it's defective. I just had to revisit it, you guys. Subscribe to my channel. Do me a favor, subscribe to my channel. And I want to do more reviews, and I want to do more accessory reviews and stuff like that, and bring you my opinion on what the firearm is lacking, and that's true reviews that aren't paid for by somebody else. And what I mean by that is, you know, somebody like maybe Orpaz says, hey, we're going to give you this holster. We want you to only say these points on it. I'm telling you right now, you guys, I don't care how much money they offer me. If somebody tries to say, hey, we want you to review this product, but you can only say the positive things and only say these specific negative things about it, you can take that product and put it back in your inventory, because I'm not going to do it. I won't be bought. And I think more people need to tell it how it is and not be bought by other companies to be able to share their products. So it is what it is. Well, you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and found it informational. If you guys did, please hit that like button. And if you didn't find it informational and I offended you in some way, you can go ahead and hit that button. And if you guys like these type of videos, go ahead and hit the subscribe button for me and let me know in the comment section below. I'm looking at doing more different types of holsters for the Glock 19 and the Canik TP9 SFX. So if you have one of those guns, please let me know, and let me know what holster you're looking at buying and what you would like to be reviewed. And I'll see if I can't grab it, wear it for a couple weeks, and let you know how it goes. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate all of you. You guys have a wonderful Christmas and enjoy the holiday season. Be safe in the snow, and hug your loved ones. They need it. So you guys have a wonderful rest of your year.